some cuttings, and I'll just get a pot of my size. This is okay, it works if you got it, but the deeper the pots, the better. You get a better root system. So I usually go for like 1 gallon pots, or you can get like tall skinny ones too. Those are nice. The shallower the pot is, the less root system you have to work with. That makes sense. But I've just been taking them, sticking them in a pot, and then just above wherever the pot level is, I'll cut it. And I'll just keep doing that in the same pot. And fill the pot up. And then once I get the pot full up, I'll just dump in sand and soil and whatever potting mix I'm using to fill in the space around them. And that makes it really easy. You just dump it in there, shake it around.
You'd keep all of those in the same pot?
I'll let them root. So they'll start to grow leaves, and then after a while of growing leaves, then they'll grow their roots. And so, you know, a couple of weeks to a month, they'll grow a new root system, and then I'll take this out, take all these out of the pot, and then they'll have roots, and then I'll transplant each one into its own individual pot.
But you grow them together to start.
I grow them together, but I'll put them in their own pots so they have their own space, or you can just take that and put it right in the ground. It just depends on, you know, what you're doing.
What do you do with the cuttings?
These?
Yeah.
The leaves and everything, I just use them as mulch or compost for the garden. Most of the time, I'll just take all the leaves and the excess and just put it right at the base of a tree. So that feed the tree. And I don't care. It doesn't bother me to have that stuff sitting there, but if it looks unsightly, then you can just take mulch and throw it over the top.
If it's helpful, it's easier than me lugging that bad boy over.
Yeah, totally.
I had started putting the vines over there. I see the city came and cleaned it up. I was like, okay, great. Because I was like, that's what they usually complain about, needing to stay low. And so I'm like, oh, I got a solution. Put the weeds over there, the vines over there, and it hampers the growth, right?
Yeah. A couple other ones that propagate super easy for cutting are mulberry. I would wait on this one. Because it's not got a whole lot of material to propagate from. But these low branches, I would start with those. You can take these. These might be a little small. The general rule of thumb for cuttings like this is just a little bit thicker than pencil is bare minimum. And then anything better this size is actually kind of more ideal. This is a really good thickness for propagating mulberries.
And would you cut it at the top? Where would you cut it?
Ideally what I would do is I can show you on the everbearing one. Let's actually go over there. I'll show you there, because they're very similar. That's a big mulberry. So what I would do with where I would start is just with your pruning. Right? So a lot of these will need to be pruned anyways. But if you're going to prune, why not get propagation material from the pruning? It's a win-win. So when you're pruning, you want to start first with the lowest branches down here. So like this one, I would go in. Again, like with trees, it wants to be as close to
the base. You got some hamstrings.
Take this guy, and then you're going to work your way up. So you're going to look at it, and mulberry is unique, not necessarily unique. A couple of plants are like this. There's a particular word for these little bumps. You see them all along here? They're kind of circular bumps. I don't know what they're called. There's a particular name for them, but those are actually like the beginnings of like new roots. So anytime you have a tree or a plant that's got a bunch of bumps on it, they generally propagate from cuttings really well.
That's good sign.
Yeah. So when you see that, it's like, okay, this might work. So what I would do is I go on here, try and find the lowest node. So you see one node here. It's more prominent here because there was a branch, but you can see that's still one there. You see the little bud. See the little elbow where a branch used to be. That's a bud. You got it. Yeah, that's actually one there too.
Okay.
So we don't have to cut any excess off. But what I like to do with the trees and the mulberries and other cuttings like that is do like a minimum of like 8 or 9 inches for a cutting. So that works out pretty well for a shear.
Okay.
You can generally use a shear as your measurement, so like base to tip, and then just cut right above this node.
I think I had the aviation snips. I don't think they'd be durable enough for these. What do you think?
What's an aviation snip?
I don't know. It's a smaller snipper than that.
Yeah, I mean you can just get like a standard garden snip from like Home Depot or Lowe's. It should be fine.
Okay.
So cutting about 8 or 9, 10 inches. That's a great thickness. Like if you wanted to just have like a standard, like that would be par for the course, you know. And then you can, if you want to, dip the bottom in like rooting hormone or aloe vera or any of those other hormone stimulants.
Oh, okay.
It helps.
I have aloe vera here. I don't know.
It's optional. You don't have to use it.
Okay.
Things like mulberry, things like cassava, they propagate super easy. So you can just put it right into the soil.
Nice.
And again, you can do it the same way I showed you with the cassava, where you put a bunch in, let them all cook together, and then once they start to grow, you can separate them out.
Wow.
So that's that. And then again with all the excess, you can just feed it right back at the base of the tree, or you can start a compost pile and add to the compost pile. And then you just work your way up. You find the next node, cut. So like I could maybe propagate this one, but it's a little thin. Thinner it is, the less
likely it is
mass,
to live.
Yeah, the less likely it's going to make it. It just will maybe dry out faster. But if you wanted to use it, you could use a humidity dome to kind of keep it moist.
Oh, never heard of that.
But also, if you want to use
like a mini greenhouse or something.
Yeah, it's just any kind of plastic or clear encasement that keeps the humidity inside of the pot.
Okay.
If you wanted to use this small one, then what you think about is instead of just doing another 9 or 10 inches, you go longer. You know.
Okay, gotcha.
Because now it's, if you were to think about squashing it, there's more volume there.
Gotcha.
So that's pretty much that. Your mulberries, your cassavas, your chayas. These are all plants that will propagate really well from cutting. Your cranberry hibiscus